Look, why just owning zero point 0.1 Bitcoin could completely change your life forever, and why you need to get your hands on any amount of Bitcoin today. Look, in this video, I'm going to break down what makes Bitcoin so powerful and why even a small fraction of a coin matters, and how your future self will thank you. Look, now let's just start with the basics. One Bitcoin can be split into 100 million Satoshis. And that means that even a tiny fraction is still part of a global network of value today. Look, and with Bitcoin trading around $117,000, one Satoshi is worth just a fraction of a penny, and that's about 0.0012. And today we're talking about zero point 0.1 Bitcoin, and that is worth around $11,718. Now, that may actually sound like a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, and with Bitcoin's up potential, that is only a small slice. Now, think about it. In the future, that zero point 0.1 Bitcoin could be worth 20,000, 50,000, or even 100,000. And eventually, your year's earnings will only buy a smaller and smaller and smaller fraction. Look, and if you somehow manage to buy a full Bitcoin today, well, congratulations, because you would actually be in the 0.18% of all Bitcoin holders. Now, holding Bitcoin is completely different to holding cash, such as fiat currencies like the dollar, as they are infinite. They can be printed and printed, inflated and inflated, and they're controlled by central entities. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is completely scarce. There's only ever going to be 21 million coins that will ever exist. Now, that gives scarcity and long-term value, especially compared to traditional money. Now, for example, in 2016, the average house in the United States cost 288,000 or 664 Bitcoin. And by 2020, the same home was 328,000 or 45 Bitcoin. And in 2024, the average house was 434 or 6.6 Bitcoin. So essentially saving in dollars, your purchasing power decreases, but saving in Bitcoin, your purchasing power goes up over time, reducing the amount you're going to actually have to spend in fiat value. Now, Bitcoin takes the best qualities of all money and it puts them all in one place. Now, USD is portable, durable, divisible, and it's fungible, but it's also very, very inflatable and centralized, and is easily confiscated. Now, gold is scarce, durable, and international, but it's not portable, and dividing it is very, very complicated. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, is portable, scarce, divisible, durable, fungible, decentralized, and global. You can send value peer to peer anywhere in the entire world without a bank, middleman, third party taking a cut. And that is why Bitcoin is considered the ultimate form of money. Look, and here's why you need to start today. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and big players are already scooping up huge amounts. Now, let's think about Michael Saylor here, who owns MicroStrategy, now Strategy. He holds 640,031 Bitcoin, worth over 75 billion. And BlackRock holds 700,000 Bitcoin, valued at 91 billion. And every time one of these huge companies scoop up Bitcoin, there's less available for everyone else. And Michael Saylor has said that a large portion of Bitcoin is effectively off the market forever. And thinking about this as well, there's around 2 million Bitcoin that are lost. And that actually means that not everyone will be able to get to 0.1 Bitcoin. The scarcity is real, and the earlier you get in, the better. Look, you don't need to buy all at once. You can dollar cost average, small amounts, daily, weekly, or monthly. And it is the smartest way to start stacking sats. Now, for example, you could reach 0.01 Bitcoin in a year with around $100 a month. It moves very fast, so numbers could change. Look, even if Bitcoin grows more conservatively than it has in the past, let's say around 30% a year, that 0.1 BTC could be worth $2.2 million in 20 years. And if you think about a return on investment, which is affordable today, it won't be soon. Now, that is why getting to 0.01 BTC or 0.1 or even 1 BTC matters. Look, Bitcoin is scarce, global, decentralized, and rapidly being adopted. The earlier you start, the more value you capture. So once the world fully understands Bitcoin, it will be too late to buy at today's prices. Look, and also remember, this is not financial advice. It's just my thoughts on why I think Bitcoin is life-changing. And if you enjoyed today's video, I'm your host, Satoshi. And remember, privacy is power, stack smart, and stack safe. If you can hit the like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with more crypto insights.